Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio is brought to you by First Financial Bank. Another step in the path to success. By IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and energy costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent at nationwide.com. It's a hockey night in Central Ohio. The Blue Jackets and the Calgary Flames renew their rivalry. First of two regular season meetings. Sergei Bobrovsky again between the pipes, fourth consecutive start. Might we see Curtis McElhinney tomorrow night, the back end of a home and road start on back-to-back nights. Jackets in Ottawa tomorrow. Karri Ramo, you see his record on the season. He was outstanding in the victory over Nashville earlier on this week. A shootout victory it was. Francois Celeron, Brian Pontmera, the referees, Derek Amell, and Matt McPherson are the linesmen. Flames wearing their traveling lights. It'll be Backlund who scored the overtime game winner in Chicago Wednesday, facing off against Mark Letestu. Curtis Glenn Cross, the former Blue Jacket, on the left wing. And on that right side is Byron. And immediately the Flames change things up. So Bob Hartley looks like Jody. He's going to match up lines.
Well, he'll want that Giordano, TJ Brody matched up against Ryan Johansson. They've heard about him.
Swept behind the net. Moved by Weidman. That's banked off the boards and sent wide of the Jackets net. It is icing. And that will enable us to check out tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
Got to get off to a good start and play to their identity. Jackets hockey right now. Got to get in front of the goalie, Jeff. These guys are hard to beat. You got to get traffic in front of them and puck management. Couple key turnovers last game caused goals against. Got to manage that puck.
Giordano, the captain, aforementioned leader of this hockey club, sends it out to center, looking for Colburn, picked up there. Along the wing, the attempted shot is blocked there by David Savard. Up on that left side. Jack Johnson skates to center. Across the line, offside. Scott Hartnell just a half a step ahead.
Well, there's Bob Hartley. We saw him this morning, and boy, did he put his team through the paces. It was a pregame skate. For some teams, it's just to get out there and sweat and move around. Boy, he had them running like a training camp out there. They were doing one-on-one battle drills, two-on-two. He likes to keep them sharp with their hard work.
Now, would that be because they got the day off yesterday here in Columbus?
I asked that, and they say, no, this is status quo for these guys. They want to just be hardworking all the time.
Right side comes Atkinson. Leads the Jackets in goals with 3. Shot by Wisniewski, turned aside. Up on that right wing, that's Byron. On for Glenn Cross. Jackets break it up. And quickly, Atkinson across the line. He's got Calvert. Trailing there was Johansson. Drop back to the point. A save by Ramo. And that is what the Jackets are doing here in the early going, is creating traffic in front of Ramo.
And that was Cam Atkinson. He's not the biggest guy, but that's good on him to get in there in front of Ramo. Obviously, that message was sent. And that was a nice rush up ice by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Good speed, attack the middle of the ice, and when they got that puck out wide and then high, guess what? No hesitation there to get it right to the net on Ramo. Good decisions there by the Blue Jackets.
One lineup change for the Jackets tonight. Corey Trapp will make his season debut. Marco Dano out of the lineup. Undisclosed injury. We'll get a look at the Elk and Elk injury report a little bit later on this period. Picked up there by Wenberg. Fires a shot towards the net. Deflected wide. Far side at Easymont. Waiting is Hartnell. Hartnell steps away from Juris, making his NHL debut. Jury number 86 called up from this one. Arriving in Columbus and making his debut out of Southern Ontario. Oakville to be exact, and he's got friends and family in attendance here. In fact, quite a crew, making the 6.5-hour drive from Oakville today.
He's pretty excited, too. He's on the top line with Yuri Hudler and Sean Monahan. That's a nice little spot to be on the right side with those two.
Pretty excited about his debut, and then you get to start on the top line.
Yeah.
David Savard holding off his man along the wall. That was Bullock. Jackets try to clear the zone, but can't. McGrattan Jersey number 16 on this fourth line, kept in by Chris Russell. Shoveled ahead. Russell, incidentally, the former Blue Jacket, he leads the entire National Hockey League in blocked shots. Not a big body,
I don't
but he's
doubt
stepping in front of him.
He's brave. He's tough. I remember playing with him here, Jeff. He's a tough guy. He's scrappy. And that doesn't surprise me, leading in the shots block category.
I think coming out of Alberta has something to do with that.
Maybe.
Down the right wing and across the line. Here comes Letestu, and it's deflected off Giordano and wide. Matt Calvert keeps it in up high. Letestu walks off the wall, sends it in front. A shot in the goal. The Jackets are on the board. Who else but Jack Skilly?
Nice play at the blue line by the Columbus Blue Jackets. That puck gets rimmed around high on the glass. And just a nice play right there to keep it deep. Mark Letestu has it on his forehand. He could have shot the puck, but look at him here. He gets his eyes up. Nice little pass. Jack Skilly says, thank you very much. And that was not a planned celebration. That's emotion right there to Jack Skilly. That's got to feel good. His second this year.
Letestu will pick up the primary assist as he walked it out of the corner. We talked in the open here about Skilly perhaps being one of the more effective, if not the most effective forward. He certainly showed us the energy in that first period when the Jackets were a little slow in starting, Jody, and he gets them on the board here tonight.
Well, how about him now? He's playing with Calvert and Letestu on the line. He was with Jared Boll and Chaput. He's been moved around a little bit, but with Dano out, he sees an opportunity here, and how about that? Right away, Mark Letestu, the veteran, with his head up. Jack Skilly cashes in on that play.
What a great pass by Letestu. Jack Johnson defending deep in the zone, thrown dangerously in front of the net, gets over Atkinson, who then steps in front of the Giordano shot. And he's back up on his feet, happy to say. Atkinson, Johansson, and of course Nick Foligno.
Love to see those block shots out of Atkinson. He did it last game and got a breakaway out of it.
That one hurt though. But he's all right.
They're going to hurt.
No pain, no gain, right?
That's right. He looks all right to me.
Elk injury report. As we mentioned, Marco Dano joining the injured. Boone Jenner, Ryan Murray, Dubinsky and Horton. Jones and Engelin out for Calgary. As you get a look there at Todd Richards, how about Boone Jenner? He may not be playing right now, but he continues to work hard.
Yeah, I saw him today coming off the ice, and you know, you got to feel bad for him. He had a long summer. He worked hard. He comes to camp, breaks his hand, and now he's skating by himself with the strength and conditioning coach while his team is preparing for games every other day. So he's working hard, like you said, but it'd be great to see him back with this team here.
Jackets are on the power play. Giordano goes off for delay of game at 3:41. First power play for the Jackets. They come in tonight tied for 17th, 2 for 12 at 16.7%. They were 8 for 32 during the preseason. 26th of 30, 6 power play goals against in 20 shorthanded situations for the Calgary Flames. Letestu and Calvert draw the assist on the goal by Skilly. Jackets, Wenberg to the point. Eriksson back for Wenberg, moving in, shows patience, tried to feed it across ice. Agent able to step in front of it, rimmed around the dasher and picked up by Anisimov on the half wall. Anisimov had a 2-game goal-scoring streak snap in the game against Dallas Tuesday night.
And they're going to change up. Wenberg had a good opportunity there right in the middle. He thought about shooting the puck, but decided to make that little pass, and that got broken up.
On the rush, here comes Jack Johnson. Johnson, left wing pass, looking for Atkinson. And play is called.
You see that icing play there. You know, the Jackets have had 2 days of practice here. And sometimes when you get to practice, you get to try new things. So, and these guys get out there on the power play. They might be trying to execute a play before just executing the fundamentals. Making that pass, get in the zone first, and then get set up and run those plays.
Johansson set for this faceoff. Their work against Backlund was amongst the league leaders in takeaways in the early going. And look at that. No sooner do we say Backlund almost able to steal from Jack Johnson, who recovers. Jack Johnson away from Backlund. Jackets power play, 37 seconds. Right side for Johansson, hammered off the wall by Russell, kept in by Foligno. Good hustle. Foligno looks to feed Atkinson. Now cycles out of the corner. Ian Atkinson. Deep in the zone. Foligno in front. Johansson. He shoots and scores. Power play goal. 2-0 Jackets. Johansson's third of the campaign.
Second goal that starts from up high at the Blue Jackets blue line. You watch the play come up ice here. And as he enters the zone, that's a clearing attempt. David Savard knocks that out of midair with a stick. Keeps the play alive at the blue line. And from there, an opportunity on net. Becomes a goal. Nice little play by Foligno. That is just a well-executed play, but a heads-up play by Savard to knock that out of the air and keep the play alive.
Jody, we talked about the chemistry in the open, and there, Foligno knew exactly where Johansson was.
It looked effortless, didn't it? And that's good chemistry. We could just make the play and make things happen like that.
Well, against Dallas, Johansson scored both goals, including the 100th of his NHL career, 100th point of his NHL career. Tonight, he gets his 50th career goal. Jackets 2. The Flames no score. And for Columbus, all 4 shots. They've converted on 2 of the 4. Trout got a piece of it, but the Flames walking out of the zone. Foligno and Cam Atkinson draw the assist. So the trio continue a point-scoring streak and have extended it to the first 4 games of the season. As a unit, they have combined for 16 points. Johansson has the Jackets in front, 2-0.
13:55 remaining in the first period. 2-0 Columbus, and Brian McGrattan is in the penalty box. His team is down 2-0. He's on the road, and he takes a run here, a healthy run at Michael Chaput. He thought it was harmless, McGrattan did, but it's the referee caught him. He's just trying to get something going physically, maybe get his bench fired up, but he crossed the line there. Jackets on the power play.
Johansson top of the circle in front. It goes off Foligno, who tried to tuck it home. Now Johansson in the corner. This is what the Jackets needed, Jody, was to have some success on the power play and gain some confidence.
You're right, and a quick start, because they've had a long 2 days thinking about that last start they had against Dallas.
Absolutely. Jack Johnson. Settle things down. He'll lead the rush up ice. Johnson on to Johansson. Drops it back. Foligno. Right back to Johansson. Johansson had it knocked away. Jackets recover quickly. Send to Jack Johnson. Flipped ahead. Johansson. Johansson, no look pass. Foligno back to the point. Jack Johnson drills it. It was blocked in front. Giordano got a stick on it, and the Flames have cleared.
Great puck movement by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Nick Foligno, Ryan Johansson, Jack Johnson. We've said their names already in this young game a lot, but because they're supporting each other very, very well out there.
Left wing with speed. Brought back to the point. This is James Wisniewski looking for his first point of the season. He was prolific on the power play, setting career highs for the Jackets. Wisniewski. Quick shot, Erickson. That one is blocked, and Juris able to chop it down. Boy, are they showing confidence in this youngster, using him on the penalty kill.
Yeah, they're really challenging him, and he made a nice play, Juris, to block that shot.
Wisniewski, left wing feed. Hartnell dropping it back to Wisniewski. 25 seconds left. Shot by Erickson. Trickles in front. Giordano up high, but not out. Wisniewski gets another opportunity. Save Ramos. Scramble. Loose puck is there. And it's swept to the wall, and it's Brody. Able to get it up, but not out. Giordano will walk it to the line. Final 10 seconds of the power play. Buma on the left wing. Lets one fly. And this one deflected out of play.
We saw a couple shots by Tim Erickson, and they didn't quite get through. And here's James Wisniewski. He's very good at getting his shot all the way to the net. You can see Scott Hartnell in front. He tries to keep it alive with the skates. He's kicking away down there, trying to create some chaos. That was a great opportunity and a great heads-up play by that guy, James Wisniewski. He's got one of the harder shots around, but boy, he's found a way to take a little heat off it and make sure it gets all the way through to the net.
He was second in points for the Jackets with 51. 44 of them were assists. The 44 assists and 51 points. Well, they were Blue Jacket records by defensemen. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller time. Later in tonight's contest, brought to you by Miller Lite. Prout, cross ice. Jackets fail to gain the zone. A left wing pass here for Jiri Hudler. Hudler trying to walk. Dalton Prout not giving him much room to work. Sent into the slot and cleared by the Jackets. Flames have yet to register a shot on goal. Much of this opening period has been played in the Flames' end of the ice. Juris in pursuit. Bobrovsky for Tootin. Off a stick, picked up there by Chaput. And thrown back behind the net. Flames change up here on the fly as we approach the 9-minute mark of his opening period. Jackets with back-to-back games. It's on to the Canadian capital of Ottawa after this one. We'll see it right here on Fox Sports Ohio, beginning with Blue Jackets Live pregame. Ryan Giesenslaw, Bill Davich will join you 6:30 from the studio as the Jackets play their second road game of the young season. Some pushing and shoving going on here. And we're going to go.
That's Ladislav Smid and Corey Trop, who's been chomping at the bit to get in the lineup. And he understood what Smid was trying to do there. Smid gave an extra shot after the whistle. Corey Trop stood up for himself and then thought, well, we're allowed to do this. Let's try it out. You can see it here. Smid gives him a little aggressive push. Corey's not going anywhere. Great way to come back in the lineup for Corey Trop.
Well, you said it right. He's been chomping at the bit to get into the lineup, Jody. And he was going to do whatever it takes to show the coaching staff that he wants to stay in the lineup, right?
And this is a good matchup for him. These Calgary Flames, they like to come in and play a little rough. They got some tough guys, like, don't get me wrong. Bollig, McGrattan. You just saw Smid there. He's a former Edmonton Oiler. Played there for many years, and now he's a part of the Calgary Flames. But they're just trying to get something going, Calgary. As you mentioned, they haven't spent much time in the offensive zone.
Jack Johnson with a shot blocked by Brody. Brody having an outstanding season, a restricted free agent at the end of the year. He and Giordano have formed a formidable defensive pairing. The top defensive pairing for this Calgary Hockey Club. Atkinson squeezes through between the defense, a backhander, and he sends it wide of the net. A burst of speed, and Atkinson got behind the Calgary defense.
That was Ryan Johansson with a great heads-up pass from deep in the neutral zone. Atkinson.
Defenseman Giordano without a stick. He's retrieved it from one of his forwards. And the Flames head off ice. The long shot, the first for Calgary in this hockey game. And Bobrovsky turns it aside, no problem there.
Credit the Jackets for their start. Keeping Calgary in their own end.
Shot by Hartnell. Big rebound by Ramos. Set back in front by Hartnell. Anisimov unable to get to it. There's Wisniewski. Picked up here along the boards. Wisniewski shovels it off into the corner. Artem Anisimov looking to cycle out. Puck rolls off his stick. He gets it back. Well, my apologies. That is Scott Hartnell who was able to retrieve that puck. Hartnell now has it go off his stick up onto the bench. Atkinson taking the pass from Johansson. A burst of speed. He gets behind the defense. Watch this pass by Johansson. Oh.
Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, find out why Hockey Fights Cancer Night has a special meaning for the family of Blue Jackets President of Hockey Operations, John Davidson. Get behind-the-scenes coverage of tonight's game on the Game Live page, and Zach Johnson looks at how the game of football is changing across all levels. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports, FoxSportsOhio.com. Thanks, Dave. I read that article this morning. It's a great piece. I strongly suggest you check out Fox Sports Ohio. And you want to be with us at our first intermission, we've got a very special presentation. It's the National Hockey League and their initiative. This is Hockey Fight Cancer Month, and tonight it's presented by the Columbus Blue Jackets and Ohio Health, one of our proud sponsors.
You can see the ribbon there Todd Richards has on. The ties are set by the league. You see a lot of members, not only coaches, but ushers, people with the NHL up top here counting shots and that. They're all wearing these ties. Even Jeff Rimmer and the rest of the broadcasting staff.
Delayed penalty upcoming here against the Blue Jackets. And Jack Skilly can't believe it. But he is headed to the penalty box, and the Flames will get their first power play.
Well, the test is a little shaken up, too.
Columbus number 10, 2 minutes roughing.
I'm not sure what happened to Mark Letestu, but he's going to head back. There was a play in the corner. You see Skelly. This is the ball. He took the shot off the ankle. So just as the Calgary Flame player was clearing the puck and taking the hit, Letestu took the puck in the ankle, and he's gone down the hallway. We'll keep an eye on that.
Flames tied for 13th, 3 for 16 at 18.8%. Jackets on the kill, 5 for 5. And that's something that Todd Richards spoke of this morning, Jody, and that is the discipline the Jackets have shown through the early part of the season.
Well, it shows they're on the same page. Penalty killing is hard work and discipline.
Calvert with a shot that's blocked by Giordano, picked up there by Monahan. Brody drops it back.
And as Dave Metzold said in the pregame, he's, penalty killing is their identity, hard work and discipline. So the Jackets, this is a good thing for them. There's Letestu who's back out there.
Less than 8.5 left. I think he just wanted to walk it off. A little more than a minute left in the penalty to Skilly. Glenn Cross to the point. This is Weidman. He can fire the biscuit from the point. Giordano, long shot, blocked by the Jackets' Savard, and then hammered the length of the ice.
Yeah, good to see Mark Letestu back out there. He got that shot actually on his right knee. So you're probably right, Jeff, with your diagnosis from up here. They needed to walk it out.
Dr. Rimmer, at your service. Bump picked up there by Backlund. Backlund, Weidman, right-handed shot on the left point. Jackets have 8 shots in this hockey game, half of them off the stick of their right-handed shooting defenseman, James Wisniewski. Big pad save, rebound left in front, and the Jackets defend in front of Bobrovsky. Flames in the waning seconds, less than 30, and that shot by Weidman, we told you, he can fire the heavy shot, and Colburn blocked it in front of Bobrovsky. Out of the corner, Flames with some pretty good puck movement. Jackets trying to pick it up, and they do. Atkinson up high, but not out. Russell on to Weidman, top of the circle, back for Russell, back for Weidman. 4 seconds and counting. Cross ice, standing is Skilly at the penalty bench. Long shot sails wide of the net. Out steps Skilly. Jackets have killed it off, and that's 6 for 6. 4 shots for Calgary on the power play. Skilly dances away from difficulty. Both teams change on the fly. Neutral zone play, and the Flames dump it back.
Great kill by the Columbus Blue Jackets. What a great start for this team. Showing maturity after that tough start the other night against Dallas. They respond with a good opening to this game tonight.
And the fans start chanting CBJ. 6:45 left. Hartnell missing with a hit up on that left wing. Here come the Flames. Dumped wide of the net. Wenberg to pick it up. Alexander Wenberg.
He's so creative with that puck. I spoke with him this morning. I forgot, the ice in Sweden is a lot bigger. And it's a different thing to have to adjust to. I couldn't imagine. But he's blended in very well with his skill set and playing with his head up. He's done a nice job.
Racing in, Flames from the wing. Oh, boy. A gaping wide open net left there for Yuri Hudler. But Hudler unable to convert with that cross goal mouth pass. Jackets dodge one there. Here is Chaput. Right wing and out of the zone. Chased by Monahan. Stopped at the line as Russell clears. Only to see Prout dump it right back in. Weidman for Russell. Less than 6 minutes left on a fast-moving opening period of play here at Nationwide. Glenn Cross in full flight. Shot sails wide of the net. Tooten defending. Glenn Cross fights through. Backhands it. Deflected high, and the Jackets clear the front of the net. Tooten getting it done. Skilly will open the scoring here with his second of the campaign. On to Letestu. Back for Skilly. Weidman with a defensive play in front. There's a shot by Skilly. Ramo camped in that blue paint. Flames come away.
You see different lines here with Corey Tropp in the box and the Blue Jackets just killing a penalty. That was Hartnell out there with Letestu and Skilly. They had a couple of good chances there in the offensive zone.
Giordano shovels in. Flames Buma in pursuit. Foligno. On to Johnson. Jack Johnson. Feeding Savard, left wing. Ryan Johansson, who takes a hit from Buma. Buma got the worst of it. He went flying to the ice.
Yeah, Buma took a pretty healthy run at him. He's got a cage on. He ran into the boards in Nashville, Booma, and he's got something wrong. He missed the last game. But he took a good run at Ryan Johansson. But Ryan Johansson is a big, big boy, and he just kind of dropped that shoulder. Booma went down.
He's strong on his feet. There's no question about that. And he's only going to be stronger. Set for this draw. Johansson beating all Blue Jacket forwards the other night. Time on ice. Almost 20 minutes, just under. 19 plus. He scored both Jackets goals and has a power play goal here tonight. His third of the campaign. Backhanded by Colburn behind the net. Mason Raymond fires towards the Jackets cage, and Wisniewski knocks it down. Raymond gets it back. Mason Raymond signing a 3-year contract with these Flames after the fine season he had in Toronto last year. Sergei Bobrovsky. A kick save and a dandy right here.
Jackets here with Brad Larson. And Brad, I know you guys stressed the quick start. What's behind the quick start tonight?
Well, I just think it was brought to attention. The last game we weren't good enough to start the game, and that was a big focus. And I've liked it so far.
What do you do now to keep this momentum going? Obviously very early, but you want to keep it going.
It sounds so cliche, but keep chipping pucks behind them, make them defend. And our strengths are forecheck, so keep going on the forecheck and make them work.
I love what Brad Larson said there. It was brought to our attention, and they've had 2 days to think about this and get prepared. So as a player, you want to get right back out and make it right. Blue Jackets were disappointed with their start. We know it. They've got a good start tonight. Now they have to continue, as Brad alluded to, keep chipping pucks behind them and play that simple game.
Hartnell able to send it off the wall and out to center ice. Goes off the linesman. Flames pick it up. Backlund drops it back. Calgary head up ice. Bobrovsky out to set it up. McGrattan cruising. Wisniewski. Long lead pass there for Jared Bull. And play is called.
Before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live, brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
There's a look at Jared Bull. He's on the ice with Brian McGrattan, and I spoke with Bull last game, and it's funny. He worked with the skills coach the last few years. Today when I was talking to McGrattan, no longer is he working on his fighting. He used to train with MMA or whatever.
Right.
He's got a skills and a speed coach in Calgary who he's working with. These guys get it. They read the headlines. They know they have to be quicker. They've got to bring something to the table as far as not a liability. They're not just going to have fights.
We had a chance to visit with President of Hockey Operations, Brian Burke. And I asked Brian about fighting in a game, and he feels that fighting still has to be and will remain part of the game, Jody.
I know, but a guy like McGrattan understands that. Hey, it's getting to more of a hybrid guy like Jared Bull. So it's trying to stay current. It's like any business, he understands it. He's working on it. Kudos to him.
You ask any NHL executive, and they will tell you it's the stage fights that the league wants to eliminate. But those spontaneous battles, I think, will always be part of the game.
And I think the guys that are around understand that. What you just said about the stage fights. They understand that those days are past.
Obviously, the Flames feel that McGrattan can still contribute as a player. And it's interesting, you talk to him, and he talks in terms of working on other things as opposed to the fighting part of the game.
Well, don't get me wrong. He knows how to fight.
Oh, he's one of the toughest, if not the toughest.
I agree. And so is Jared Bull.
Skilly along the wall. There is Monahan to play it from a sharp angle. He'll send it on a play.
See the Blue Jackets take on the Toronto Maple Leafs on Friday, October 31st at 7 p.m. with the Tim Hortons Jacket Pack. It includes a ticket, $10 food and beverage voucher at Blue Jackets hat, Tim Hortons travel mug, and more. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com.
Matt Calvert lined up and ready as Letestu wins the faceoff. Tootin +6 on the year. This is Letestu leading Calvert with a pass. Brody defends. Calvert trying to fight through. Skilly waits patiently. Letestu along the wall. He'll find Skilly in the near corner. Jack Skilly off the wall. Tried to feed Dalton Prout. It was broken up by the Flames. Prout now keeping away from the oncoming rush. Giordano on to Colbert.
I like that play by Dalton Prout. He had to look way up at the ceiling to find that puck. And while he's doing that, he's got players bearing down on him. But good awareness and patience there.
Right side, top of the circle. Deflected wide. Flames hustle after it in the corner. Monahan will play it on that right wing. Monahan tosses behind the net. Juris in pursuit. Letestu defending. Picked up by Monahan again, the young centerman. 22 goals last season. Impressive rookie, and Flames hope that he can pick up where he left off last year. Letestu on to Nick Foligno. Foligno knocked down. Backlund in pursuit. Tooten settles it down. Hands it to Dalton Prout. Less than a minute to go now in this opening period. Foligno waits on the right wing. Backhands a pass for Atkinson. Broken up by Brody, and Backlund's pass almost picked off there by Atkinson. Giordano racing down the right side. The Calgary captain drops it back there for Backlund. Backlund on here for Curtis Glencross to the point for Brody. Brody at the left point looks for Glencross. That pass a little high. Backlund was tied up. Reaching for it there to break it up is Eriksson. Originally a first-round draft pick of these Calgary Flames. Never played for Calgary. Was traded to the Rangers before being involved in the Nash deal.
And he's found a nice little home there. Let's look at these both goals here. Jack Skilly gets a beautiful pass right here from Mark Letestu. And then Ryan Johansson. Nice play in front. Power play goal. Both originated from good plays at the offensive blue line.
Jody, we're in the waning seconds of the opening period. No team has had a shot in almost 7 minutes of continuous hockey here.
Well, that's a lot of feeling each other out, I guess. Just a lot of back and forth.
Jackets storming to the 2-0 lead before the game is 5.5 minutes old. Artem Anisimov for Wisniewski. Wisniewski floats it in, deflected, and just wide of the far post. First period comes to an end. Shots 8-6, favoring the Blue Jackets, who get goals from Skilly and Johansson after 20 minutes of play. Here at Nationwide Arena, the Blue Jackets lead the visiting Calgary Flames 2-0. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio. Brought to you by Huntington Bank. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at BlueJacketsBanking.com. And by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Getting set for second period play. Jackets lead 2-0. Our IGS Energy performers from the opening period of play. 2 Blue Jackets. Our goal scorer, Jack Skilly, with his second of the season. 4 minutes plus of ice time. And Ryan Johansson, 50th career goal, 102nd career point. 67% in the face-off circle. He has his 3rd goal of the season. He leads the Blue Jackets in points now with a total of 6.
How about that stat? 3 takeaways for Jack Skilly. That's it. It's not easy to get those takeaways. He's on the puck with his speed here tonight.
Look at the Jackets bench as we get set. Jackets coaches have not returned to the bench yet. Here they come right now. Todd Richards and Brad Larson. Incidentally, Craig Hartsburg not on the Jackets bench tonight due to family situation. As you get a look there at Brad Larson, who, well, no stranger to Bob Hartley. He played for Hartley and Hershey in the American Hockey League, then played for him with the Colorado Avalanche, and then Brad Larson moved on to the Atlanta Thrashers. And guess what? His head coach was Bob Hartley. Kind of like you and I, Jody. I can't seem to You're shadowing me.
Yeah, a little something like that, Jeff. Well, I'll tell you what, Bob Hartley's got a reputation for pushing his players, getting the most out of his players, but it's tough to play for him. Brad Larson was a hard-working guy who worked 100% all the time, so obviously good fit between those two.
Face-off, Monahan and Letestu as we get set for the second period. Bit of a delay there as they were getting the clock reset. We are underway with period number 2. Glad you've joined us here. First of back-to-back games for the Jackets who move on to Ottawa and the Canadian capital. We'll join you from the home of the Senators tomorrow night, beginning at 6:30 with Brian Giesenslaw and Bill Davidge and Blue Jackets Live pregame. Opening face-off at 7 o'clock. Dalton Prout finishing a check there on Monahan. 2 battle along the wall. Letestu trying to fish it free. Moved by the Flames to the point. Giordano with a shot. Deflected and off the shoulder of Bobrovsky. Saw it at the last moment.
Yeah, that was deflected maybe a couple times there. Bobrovsky made that save. The Columbus Blue Jackets have got to be careful here. Sure, they learned the lesson about the start. Check the box on that. But now they have to remember what they did to Dallas. They cannot let Calgary get back in this game.
Again, it's a good 8 minutes plus that the Blue Jackets have gone without a shot on goal. Nice to build that 2-0 lead, but don't take the pedal lightly here. Get back on that high horse.
Yeah, it's one thing to take care of your defensive zone, but the other thing is get down, stay on your toes, attack Carey Ramo. Do not let him get comfortable in there.
Reaching for it there was Scott Hartnell. Brody moves it along the wall. Jack Johnson spins, turns, can't make the play. Rimmed around the boards. Savard, right point, tosses it behind the net, gets away from Hartnell. 90 seconds plus gone here in the second period. Brody turning away from Hartnell. Here's Chris Russell joining the rush, actually leading it from a sharp angle. Had his stick not free, and there's going to be a penalty there. Hooking against the Jackets.
Sorry, Jeff. Nisimov looks like he got his stick up there on Chris Russell as Chris Russell kind of danced by him.
Columbus, number 42. 2 minutes for hooking.
Easy call for the ref, and Columbus has really got to be out there and attacking. Part of their, we talk about their identity. Yeah, that's an easy call, stick parallel to the ice, and actually causes Russell to make that play into the corner. But they got to get on their game and their identity, and that's attacking the net, shooting from everywhere, Jeff.
Speaking of attacking, the Flames had 6 shots in the opening period. 4 of those 6 came on their first power play. They're 0 for 1. And it's a pretty good puck movement in Jackets territory. This is Giordano. Calgary captain drops it back. Colburn at the line. It goes off Backlund and offside.
The Jackets standing their ground at the blue line. Cut up that flow of the Calgary Flames. They're going to make a change here, but that's a good play. Keep the Flames out of sync, especially on their power play as they attack up ice.
Do they make adjustments after allowing those 4 shots, as I mentioned, in the first power play?
Well, I would say, that's something you don't want to do is let those shots, especially when a team hasn't had many, if any, shots to that point.
The last, speaking of shots, Columbus Blue Jacket shot came midway through the opening period. 10 minutes and 12 seconds into the hockey game. Since then, they have failed to register a shot on Carey Ramo. Little more than a minute left in the Nisimov penalty, shorthanded. Matt Calvert tried to pull the trigger. The puck knocked free. And circling the net here is Russell.
Calvert made a nice little move to the middle. Tried to pull the trigger, but 4 Calgary Flames around him. No chance. He's off now.
Jackets sweep it down. Weidman in pursuit. Good hustle here by Wenberg. Russell off the wall. Hudler, one-time Red Wing, turns it over. Here's Wenberg. How much confidence is Coach Richard showing in Wenberg? Continually using Wenberg in power play situations, on the penalty kill, and of course at even strength.
And late in games. And he's earned it.
Less than 30 seconds left on the power play. Artem Anisimov serving the final 22. Brought in here by Colburn, trying to walk around Tootin, who would have no part of that. and the Jackets hammer it down the ice. 15 seconds left in the Anisimov call.
You know, one of the keys for tonight was puck management. And Todd Richards, with 2 days of practice, spent the first day, Wednesday, after the game, working on passing the puck and just getting it out of the defensive zone clean, which is where they had some trouble against the Dallas Stars.
Jackets kill it off. They're now 7 for 7 on the season. 2 for 2 tonight. Anisimov. Ahead here for Foligno. Knocked down by Giordano. Picked up by Brody. Dances away from Artem Anisimov. Long lead pass. Sails the length to the ice. It's icing.
Follow FoxSportsOhio.com Blue Jackets writer Allison Lucan on Twitter @AllisonL for all the latest news and information on the Jackets. And you can talk to Allison, Rick Gethin, Rob Mixer, and myself in the Ringside Chat Wednesdays at 8 on FoxSportsOhio.com.
So you've got Letestu out there with Hartnell and Skilling.
In front rebound. And Kari Ramo able to cover up.
And they were out there against the McGrath and Bollig line, who got caught out there on an icing. And that's an interesting situation for the coach in the offensive zone, because now you have a line that's trapped out there in the energy line. You can try to take advantage, as the Jackets tried to there, using some skill that with Hartnell and Skilling. You can see now Calgary changed. They've got different guys out there to defend the zone, but good opportunity at that last faceoff.
Skilling edges it off into the corner. Here's a shot by Eriksson from the point. It was blocked in front. Letestu hammers it off the wall. Left wing. Hartnell looking for it. Letestu pressures. Loose puck. Scooped up. Smeed. Glencross. Back for Smeed.
You mentioned Eriksson taking that shot. He had 2 attempts in the first period, 1 blocked shot. That's 3 total towards the net. I like to see that out of him. He's playing with James Wisniewski, who is the shooter with that pair. But obviously they want Timmy to get that puck to the net.
Well, what do you think? Eriksson got the one-way contract this season, played most of the year last season at Springfield, the Jackets American Hockey League Farm Club. Obviously the club felt they could show Eriksson the confidence right from the get-go this season.
Well, and there was competition in Cat with Cody Golobo, who's still around, and he still wants to get in the lineup. Timmy Eriksson knows that. Ryan Murray is out. He wants to give it back. Timmy Eriksson knows that. So they're trying to show every shift, every night, what they got and how valuable they are.
That's a great point. And, of course, Ryan Murray continues to improve. I know the thought is, the hope that on this 4-game road trip that starts tomorrow in Ottawa, that the Jackets, before it ends out in California, they can have a healthy Ryan Murray back in the lineup.
Well, that would be nice, and I know Ryan is getting anxious. All those guys that aren't playing are anxious. Injured or not, they want to be in the lineup.
Fedor-Tutin steps behind Bobrovsky. 5.5 minutes plus gone here in the second period. Foligno on to Atkinson. Across the line, Atkinson, the right hand. They're shooting. Jackets forward, finding Jack Johnson here. Atkinson looks for some open ice. Gets it to Dalton Prout. Off the point, top of the circle. Wrist shot turned aside by Ramo.
It's a good series here with Jack Johnson in the offensive zone. I love when he gets down there deep in the offensive zone. Creates a little trouble for the defenders when he gets that low.
Jody, yesterday, the Flames did not practice. The Jackets did. In front, the save by Foligno. And play has been called. I don't know if that puck, in fact, did get behind Ramo. Jackets argued that the puck got behind Ramo before the whistle. But waved off. Back here at Nationwide, Todd Richards asking for an explanation from the official. Again, just prior to going to break, let's get one more look at it. And this play did, in fact, Jody, go to review.
It was a quick play. Pass out to Foligno. Gets that rolling puck in on Ramo. You can't see. It's in the net now, but the whistle had gone before that point. There you can see the puck on the edge of his right skate, but Todd Richards got his explanation, whether he likes it or not.
Jack Johnson, and we were about to tell you the story about Jack Johnson, as heard from Brian Burke yesterday. Brian Burke took in the brackets. Of course, we talked to him on Blue Jackets Live pregame, and Burke said, and remember, he was one of the key members of the executive of Team USA for the Olympics last year. He said, we made a mistake. Jack Johnson should have been on the Olympic team. Of course, it worked out for the benefit of the Blue Jackets, because from the point, and it was New Year's Day, we were out in Arizona, in Phoenix, and from that day when they announced the team at the outdoor game, Jack Johnson not part of it, why, he used that as motivation for the balance of the year. But Brian Burke admitted yesterday, just sitting in conversation, that they should have had Jack Johnson on that Olympic team.
And they made their decision, and it was, at the timing of the season, they were watching Jack and everyone in the league closely. But Jack Johnson is one of the elite defensemen in the league. He plays big minutes every night for these Columbus Blue Jackets, and he's a horse out there.
And there he is right there. And of course, Jack Johnson has, for many, many international tournaments, represented Team USA and given a lot to USA hockey. And for Brian Burke to admit, I mean, I didn't ask him the question. He volunteered. He said, we should have had Jack Johnson, a leader, on Team USA.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets.
Jack Skilly, who certainly was one of the better Jacket forwards on Tuesday in the loss to Dallas, and got the Jackets on the board, 2:39 into the opening period. Both goals, if you've joined us late, coming in that first period before the game was 5.5 minutes old. Ryan Johansson with his third, and Skilly his second. Shot by Matt Calvert. Ramo able to turn it aside.
I like how Skilly's been in with Calvert and Letestu out there.
Without Dano given an opportunity to move up in the lineup.
When you're talking chemistry, Calvert and Letestu have had it for a few games now.
In front, Letestu scores! Mark Letestu able to redirect the shot from up high, and it's 3-0 Blue Jackets.
Well, Jeff, you set it up high, and this is a common theme with these three goals. They're starting at the blue line in the offensive zone. One was a keep in, and this is a play. Jack Skilly, look at that, head up the whole way. Tim Erickson doesn't shoot this one, and James Wisniewski, you talked about his points last year. There's an example of why he got so many points. He gets his head up, he doesn't go for the big slap shot, gets it in the area, and Mark Letestu bangs away at it. Couple opportunities.
Mark Letestu will pick up his first point, his first goal. James Wisniewski will pick up his first point. Tim Erickson and Wisniewski teaming up on the point as we get one more look at Letestu's first of the season.
Well, you can see his skates on the right side. He sees that puck hit the post. Well, Calvert might have put that in.
Well, after that late replay there, a close-up of the high overhead. Maybe it was shoveled over the line by Calvert. We'll wait for it officially. And indeed, with that replay, Matt Calvert rightfully gets the goal.
Yeah, it was hard to tell until we saw that last replay with Matt Calvert's stick and his head diving into the screen there.
One more look at it.
It's funny when you see a puck on the goal line behind the goalie as a player. Do whatever you can to jump in there. You see the Letestu on the right side of your screen. There's the puck. Oh, Matty Calvert's stick, the red one. Make sure he puts that right to the back of the net too, didn't he?
Oh boy. The Letestu shot went off the goalpost and hung on that line. It was swept home by Calvert for his first. Wisniewski picks up the second assist, all three combining for their first points of the young season.
And nice play by Skilly on that early part of that play. To have his head up in the corner and get it to Tim Erickson. All five guys on the ice touch that puck.
Atkinson on for Foligno. Foligno will backhand it in the rest of the way. Brody to play it. And hands to Giordano. Approaching the 9-minute mark. Period number 2. The long home run pass there for Colburn fails. Moved by Prout, but picked up by Mason Raymond. Up high, Smead back for Raymond. Colburn attempted to get it behind that net. Diaz, jersey number 33, signed with Calgary. He was approached by a couple of other NHL clubs. Of course, last season, finished the year with the New York Rangers. Had a chance to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, he really made a mark there. He had some good ice time. Played well in all the series he played in, and here he finds a new home in Calgary.
Jackets with the steal along the far wall. Jared Bull. Bull and Trop deep in the zone. Jackets. Bull hammered along the wall. Looks to fight that off. Gets some help there from Corey Trop. David Savard. No look pass here to Jack Johnson. Back up high. Shot there by Chaput. Sails wide of the net. Savard will let one go. And there Ramo had to be sharp.
Whoa. How about that play by Jared Bull? Just dive in to keep the play alive.
At the other end, Smeed lets one fly. That one goes off the shoulder of Bobrovsky. Weidman. Wenberg. This is Anisimov. Artem Anisimov. Cross ice. Kept in by Jack Johnson. Scott Hartnell in the corner. Russell gives up some size to Hartnell. Continues to battle. Loose puck played by Anisimov. Off his skate. Left wing. Good work there by Hartnell, but followed through by the Flames. Marching to the front of the net there was McGrattan. Staging. McGrattan spins, turns, fires a shot off the pad there of Bobrovsky and played by Hartnell late in the shift. Wenberg. Pass goes behind the Jackets Anisimov, who tries to take the feed there from Jack Johnson, but icing the call as the pass missed.
Icing is the call as the faceoff comes back. Watch this play by Jared Bull. Puck's in the corner. It's a 50-50 puck. What's he do? He lays out, gets it from Glenn Cross, and back to his defenseman. That's a great effort by him to keep the play alive. Valuable time in the offensive zone is what you want.
Giordano fires from a sharp angle off the pad of Bobrovsky, who will cover up. How important are faceoffs, Jody?
Huge. And how about that? Those guys are getting caught out there on an icing at the end of a shift. Bobrovsky recognizes it, gets the whistle. And how about that? Eddie Calvert.
Matt Calvert's goal has given the Jackets a 3-0 lead over Calgary. Tonight, don't miss Fox Sports Live. Royals starting pitcher James Shields joins Gabe Kapler for an exclusive one-on-one chat previewing the Fall Classic. Plus, we're on the ground in Tallahassee ahead of the Notre Dame-Florida State game, a top-5 showdown. Watch Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1.
Jody, we start talking about face-off just prior to the break. The Jackets have won 9 of 12 draws here this period, 21-13 overall.
That's a good sign. That's your first one-on-one battle on that faceoff dot. Where it starts, it shows that the Blue Jackets are engaged.
Juris finishing a check there on Eriksson. Jackets edge it off the wall and out. Juris, jersey number 86, NHL debut with family in attendance here from Oakville, Ontario.
Watch this little play by Jack Skilly. Okay, he's on the scoreboard. He's done some good things in the offensive zone, but Todd Richards worked on this all week. The 2 practices, just chipping the puck out of the zone. So back there earlier when he was inside the blue line, he got the puck on his stick and just advanced it off the wall to make sure it was out in the neutral zone and nothing could happen in his defensive zone. Great play and heads-up play. Just a subtle thing, but something they worked on as a team on Wednesday.
Brody pressured here by Johansson. Atkinson finishing a check. Calvert. Johansson. The forecheck leading to what could have been a quality scoring chance as that puck just bounced away from the Columbus forward. Should be a tripping penalty there. Crowd certainly calls this one. And our amateur officials on hand make the call a tripping penalty for hauling down Johansson. The Jackets will go to the power play.
And there are little things that are going to occur throughout the game that make a big difference. How about this? Cam Atkinson lays the body, causes the turnover, and you can see the desperation and scramble in the Calgary Flames. And that leads to this little play, desperation play, a reach-out trip on Johansson. That stems from the forecheck from Cam Atkinson.
Puma off for tripping. The penalty coming at 11:44. Jackets 1 for 2 with 3 shots. Artem Anisimov off the wall for Wisniewski. Wisniewski and Anisimov. Hartnell looks for some open ice in the slot. Puck rolling, Smead defending, gets some help there from Weidman. Battle ensues. Hartnell reaches for it. It's played here by Calgary. And the Flames will send it up and out.
Jackets
hustles.
Jackets need to get this line going. The 41, 42, 43 line, Hartnell, Anisimov, Wenberg. They got to get going as a line and as a power play unit for the Jackets to have some success.
Brody deals it up high, but not out. Wenberg, right side. Wenberg in front of Anisimov. Neatly played there by Brody. He'll backhand it the length of the ice and picked up Bobrovsky and left for Eriksson. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left. Little more than a minute remaining in the Buma penalty for tripping. Here comes Atkinson on to Foligno. Foligno holds up along the wall, sweeps it back, forcing the Jackets back to neutral ice, and Savard backpedals all the way almost to the goal line. David Savard ahead here for Johansson. First across the line. Tries to split the defense and walk in. Ramo up the wall. Glenncross is pressured. Jackets Johansson reaching for it. Foligno. Savard off the skate of Giordano. Atkinson on for Foligno. Nick Foligno has had a marvelous start to the season and actually started during the preseason. Here's Jack Johnson. Less than 20 seconds left on the power play. Johansson walks up the near boards. Throws it behind the net. Foligno tried to trap it. Played there by Brody. The outlet pass for Colburn. Onto the right wing. Giordano, who joined the rush in front. And it's deflected high over top of the net.
That puck came off the end boards a little funny on Nick Foligno. It rolled a little, and he could not corral it.
Buma, full face shield and all, steps out of the box. Flames have killed off 2 of the 3 Columbus power plays. 5 seconds above 6 minutes remaining here in period number 2. Rolling puck, Skilling drops it back for Letestu. Sends it in, and holding on there is Kari Ramo. Will step aside with 5:53 left. Second period. Columbus 3, Calgary no score.
Jackets here at Nationwide. The Blue Jackets Fan Express is back and ready to bring your group to the Arena District. For information and reservations, call the Blue Jackets at 614-246-PUCK. Tonight, the Aston Youth Hockey Association Mini Mike Maple Leafs rode the Fan Express to cheer the Blue Jackets on to victory. They're doing a good job so far. Jackets up 3-0, guys.
Great crowd on hand for this one here. The Jackets, 5th line in attendance here, offering their support. Jody, you talked in terms of the Anisimov line and the fact that they'd certainly like to add some scoring to the hockey club. How important is it when you look at what the Johansson line has done and Letestu creating a little chemistry with his line mates? This Anisimov line with Scotty Hartnell, pretty important.
You got it. Yeah, it's a great point by you, and they got to be anxious to see the other lines clicking and getting things going. Actually, the other 3 lines are going pretty well. They got to be anxious, and you don't want them to get frustrated, Jeff, because that's the last thing you want is them pressing too much, trying too hard. But it'd be great to see them get clicking 5-on-5 or on the power play because they play both together.
And, of course, the third member of that line is Alexander Wenberg, who himself, they've got to guard against frustration. He's getting quality looks and chances, but he'd like to convert for his first NHL goal. Ramo holds on.
It'll happen. It'll come for those guys, but, you know, it's only the 4th game, but it's just you magnify everything. You want to be involved every night, and it'll come. Here's Calvert almost on this breakaway. He's trying to follow the puck. It just looks like the defender there falls down. That's Diaz. Crowd wanted a penalty. I'm sure Calvert wanted one, but no call. Linesman's calling a penalty here, I think. He similar was a glove pass. You're not allowed to use your hand to win the faceoff. And the referees here are getting together. This is something, Jeff, at the broadcast meetings they told us that the refs are going to get together, use each other as resources to get it right. And it looks like there's a call coming up that's been called by the linesman. We'll see what it is here. He signaled a hand pass.
Chaput's going to the box.
And they're saying that this
Columbus 39, minor penalty, face-off violation, ending the puck.
They're going to have to explain explain this to a lot of people in the crowd, but we'll explain it to you. Off the face-off, you're not allowed to use your hand to win a face-off. So it looks like he swiped at it with his free hand, and it went forward. The contact with the glove caused the linesman to call that penalty. And that's a newer rule, because some guys in face-off, and they brought up Zenon Konopka's name. He was very good percentage, but they're saying he was using his hand too much.
Cheating. But you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
He was great at it.
He was.
I don't know if it was cheating or not, but well, that is now a minor penalty.
And
The crowd is booing.
referee Ryan Pakmera tapping his linesman, Derek Amell, on his back for the call, saying that it was the right call, and now Pakmera is over with an explanation for Coach Todd Richards.
Todd's not liking it, but if you think about it, use that glove instead of your stick. That's a big advantage.
Face-off violation to call. And let's get one more look at it. You get a look at it at home as well as we do here.
Not allowed to use your glove to attempt to win a face-off.
Minute 50. And Coley Campbell, Executive Vice President of the National Hockey League, who, as you point out, was attending our broadcast meetings and our Fox meetings, making it very clear, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But the league is certainly going to enforce that rule. Less than 4.5 left. A minute, 30 seconds left on the power play for the Flames. This is their third manpower advantage. They're 0 for 2 with 5 shots. They had 4 on the first manpower advantage this evening in period number 1. Long shot there by Giordano, off the blocker and out of play. Bobrovsky getting it with that blocker side glove.
Good play by Sergei Bobrovsky there to get it out of the zone, clear it out, settle this guys down. You know, sometimes he does that. He can control those rebounds, and that play there was a great save.
Sergei Bobrovsky guarding the net. Some speculation that we might see McElhaney, but Sergei, he wants to play.
Yeah, he does.
Jackets will play tomorrow night and then begin the California trip next Thursday. So do not play after Saturday until Thursday night.
That's a lot of working out for Sergei, or whoever doesn't play. Be good to see Curtis in there nonetheless. I mean, he's worked hard. Curtis McElhaney, he's ready to go. That's part of his job, and he knows it.
When he gets tapped on the shoulder, Curtis McElhaney, who has certainly been, I tell you, there's a great relationship with the two goaltenders, Bobrovsky and McElhaney. And McElhaney, I thought, looked really sharp in the preseason when given the opportunity to play.
Well, he's excited to have a home. He's a guy that's played in a lot of different organizations. He's found a home here in Columbus. Him and his family are excited to be here. And he understands his role as an older guy in that backup role. He fully embraces it. I tell you what, he has worked so hard. And you see him after practice with the extra guys and the guys out there doing extra shots. He's been there, not complaining. So whenever he gets in, he'll be ready.
He was drafted by these Calgary Flames in the 9th round, 176th overall back in the 2002 draft. And interestingly enough, with the speculation in the dispatch all week long that we'd see McElhaney in one of these two games, he's played for both of them. He played, of course, for Ottawa briefly, played for the Flames, drafted by Calgary, and a real team player. That's something you talk about a lot, Jody.
A journey.
Being a team guy.
He's team first.
2:45 left. Down the right side, Hartnell. Hartnell with a pass for Atkinson, rolling puck. Jackets 3 for 3 on the kill. Jack Johnson. On for Atkinson. Some help there now from Hartnell. Up high. Long shot sails wide of the net. Hartnell in front for Atkinson. Hartnell seeing some duty on this line in place of Nick Foligno.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Johansson, Hartnell, Atkinson in the slot. deals it back to the point just beyond Savard.
You mentioned Hartnell getting to play with Johansson and Atkinson there for a brief shift. He got to do it last game, and I asked him about it. He said, man, I was so excited. I was trying so hard. That's the oldest guy in the team right there. Think he wants to score a goal?
Oh, you know he does. Like to see him get off the schneid. It hasn't been from a lack of effort, that's for sure. Corey Trapp redirects it out of play. Hartnell provides a lot of leadership. Talk about team play and being a team guy. Scott Hartnell certainly has provided that from our observation.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, Todd Richards was asked about him, and he said simply, he gets it. He's a pro. Guys gravitate towards him. He's got that personality. You would never think that playing against him or being a fan against him, you would hate him. But as a teammate, you want to have him in the trench with you. And yeah, he's having fun here. He fits in well with these Blue Jackets, and he just loves the group. So I'd like to see him get on the board, though, Jeff.
From center. Shot in by Smeed. Bobrovsky able to fight off the forecheck there. Good work. Nice stick handling there by Bobrovsky. Shot sent off the wall after glancing off the glove of Bobrovsky, and there redirected once more. Wisniewski got a stick on it, and it's out of play as it goes off the netting.
That went off Wisniewski somehow. That was Brian McGrattan. He just threw the puck towards the net. It deflected towards the net, but high over the net. And that's why we got a whistle, but big Brian McGrattan, right-handed shot, tries to get this out. There's that stick work you're talking about. A little off the board, to the skate, back to the stick. Sergei's feeling it. And you'll see this play. Just it went up the wall there to McGrattan, and it went off of Wisniewski. 1:14 left here in the second period. Jackets up 3-0. They really have done a good job at managing the puck. They had to continue to do that here, especially in these crucial minutes at the end of the period. There's a look at Fedor Tootin. I spoke with him today about playing with Dalton Prout, and I said, how is it to play with Dalton? He said it is so easy. He's such a good player. And I said, well, you kind of surprised? That, I didn't know what to ask him. And he said, no, not at all. The first time he came up, he said, I was impressed with how Dalton played and how he's big and strong. They complement each other very well.
Well, they're off to a good start as a defensive pairing. And, of course, Tootin amongst the league leaders in plus-minus at a +6 coming into tonight's game. Less than a minute to go here in the second period. Jackets led 2-0 after one. Have added a goal from Matt Calvert here in the second. Outshooting the Flames 17-16. Lead pass there for Skilly. Sails right in on Ramo. We didn't see, as we mentioned, Nick Foligno on that last shift. Hartnell stepping up. And we can tell you that Foligno went down the tunnel with Mike Vogt.
We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Here's Russell. On to Weidman. Colburn on ahead. Nice move there. Going to one knee was Dalton Prout. You talked about him earlier. How about that defensive play?
That was a good play. Get in front of the puck. Make sure it gets out of the zone. Your teammates appreciate those type of plays, especially late in the period.
So, 40 minutes in the book. Jackets lead 3-0. Your thoughts, Jody?
Well, I thought it was a good period. It seemed to have a couple lulls, but the Jackets got another goal. They got back on their game. It seemed like Calgary came out with a good push to start that second period. The Jackets handled it and got their game under them again.
Calgary actually outshot the Jackets in the second period, 11-9. The teams are even in shots on goal at 17 after 40 minutes. The Blue Jackets, behind the goaltending of Bobrovsky, and the offense from Skilly, Johansson, and Calvert, lead by 3 after 2. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Roush Honda. The best way to say Honda is Roush Honda. And by Ticketmaster. Score. Get the only NHL tickets sold by fans, verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey, no hassle right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. All but set for third period play. And now tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to the center of the hockey universe. Air Canada Center in Toronto pick up the action. The Leafs and the Red Wings scoreless in the first.
More check by Zetterberg. He's a heck of a player. Gets his head up, and the mule, Johan Franzen, puts that little redirection pass to make it 1-0. It's now 2-0 Detroit lead. halfway through the game.
And Franzen has the second goal as well. Those are his first 2 goals of the season. Third period set to begin. The teams are even in shots. The Jackets lead where it counts on the scoreboard. And through 40 minutes of play, not surprising, Ryan Johansson, who led the Jackets forwards in ice time the other night, just under 20 minutes, leads all Jacket forwards in ice time at 12:18. Jack Johnson leads all defensemen in ice time, 17 minutes, 50 seconds.
Ryan Johansson has only been here for 9 days. And he's right into it.
Delayed penalty upcoming. Ramos made his way to the bench. And the Jackets will be shorthanded for the 4th time tonight. Charging is the call.
Chris Russell's got words for Jack Skilly. Jack takes a run here.
Actually, it's Calvert who's...
Oh, so that's Calvert. Thank you. He takes a run. Gets off his skates. And the referee, when they see someone elevated like that, usually make that call.
17 seconds the time of the penalties. We got to look at the AEP power play summary, Jody.
Well, there you see it, and you had mentioned early, Calgary didn't have many shots, if any at all, in the first period until their power play when they got 4 on their first one. So Blue Jackets have tightened it up since then, but they really want to keep Calgary at bay here early in the third period.
Well, Todd Richards was asked a question this morning as he met with the media about the Jackets' discipline. They only took 5 minor penalties in the first 3 games. They've now taken 4 tonight.
It's funny how that happens.
Karma. Monahan. Hoodler back to Monahan. Full flight down the right wing. Drop pass there, Giordano. Calgary captain for Brody moves in, fires a shot. Saved by Bobrovsky. Chaput will chop it. Up but not out. Bouncing puck. Played there by Colbert. Calgary native back up high. This is Brody left circle. Look at Bobrovsky. Just see that puck melt up.
Well, you could see that. Sergei Bobrovsky could see that the whole way. It was just him and Colbert in there. Sorry, was that Brody? And it was just a single lane. So Sergei just really went out to the edge of his crease and said thank you. Nobody in front. He'll take that all day. Caught it under his left arm, kind of wing there, but good job by the defense to keep the Calgary Flames players from getting in front of Sergei.
58 seconds left as the Jackets rim it around the wall and back into the Flames' end of the ice. Approaching the 92nd mark of this third period. As you can see, 46 seconds remain. The Flames power play. This is Glenncross. Left it at the line. He'll have to drop it back for Chris Russell. Hammered in from the right point by Diaz. Feder Tutin on to Wisniewski. Ahead here for Wenberg, and Wenberg will find a lane and send it back into the Flame zone.
And now he's going to give chase. Good heads-up play by Wenberg. Saw that the puck was bobbling behind the net, and he kicked it into another gear to try to create a little pressure on the Calgary defenseman.
Wenberg and Johansson up front on the kill. And Johansson sends it to the line, but not out. Russell, left point. 5 seconds remaining in the Calvert penalty. Diaz back here to Russell. Russell looking for the redirect. Off the Flame, a shot and a goal. Mason Raymond spoiling the shutout bid as he was left all alone in front and is able to convert, beating Bobrovsky. It is not a power play goal.
Well, it was a good play by the Calgary Flames defenseman to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Ryan Johansson had the puck on his stick right here. And I don't know if he didn't see the Calgary defender in the middle of the ice, but that allowed them to keep the puck in. And then you see them work it around pretty good, and it's a little play on the back door. Sergei lost his stick, Sergei Bobrovsky. And then right away, Ryan Johansson put his head down. He didn't want to make that play to the Calgary defender, and I'm not sure he saw him. I think he just tried to whip it out, get it down the ice, and get off. Nonetheless, Calgary's on the board early in the third period.
Oh. Referee, or rather the linesman, Derek Amell, is down as he got upended. And play whistle down. Back on his feet, we're happy to say.
David Savard immediately looked to the bench for trainer Mike Vogt and was waving. Get out here. Right side of the picture here. You can see the linesman. He gets just caught up there. Goes down hard. It's a few incidents with linesmen here at Nationwide Arena. With these last couple home games, we had a slap shot off the instep. The linesman the other night, he went down the hall, came back and finished the game. They numbed up his foot. This one tonight, they're going to shake it off.
Glenn Cross and Backlund incidentally draw the assist on the Raymond goal, his 4th of the season. Icing the call. And they'll head back into Columbus territory. Jackets looking for their first shot of this 3rd period.
And backup. Time of the goal, 6:21.
Anissimov's lining up the troops here on the faceoff. He wants the guys in the right position, especially with Calgary just scoring. Defensive zone faceoff. Guys got to be on the same page to make sure they execute this play out of the zone.
Off a skate. Jackets reach for it. Artem Anisimov look for the backhand. Lindbergh drops it back. Long shot. Ramo didn't see it. Went off his pad.
A good shot by Jack Johnson. Got all the way through. And like you said, off Ramo's pad. Went through 3 or 4 players to get there.
Alexander Wennberg in his own zone. Hands to Jack Johnson. Johnson first across the line. Backlund defends. Swept off the stick of Johnson. Clearing pass. Picked off here by Foligno. Foligno left early, or rather late in that 2nd period. Back on the ice here with his normal mates. Although Anisimov remaining out there and will be replaced by Johansson as Backlund. As he said, one of the leaders in takeaways and is able to come up with that puck, but offside the call. Well, the Jackets, as we mentioned in that 2nd period, shorthanded. Craig Hartsburg is not with the staff. As you get a look there at Brad Larson, who normally handles the forwards. With Craig Hartsburg away, he's handling the defense. Todd Richards handling the forwards. And our best goes out tonight to Craig Hartsburg, who is not here. There's been the passing of his mother-in-law, his wife, Hartsburg's wife, Peggy, and the family back with the family. And Hartsburg, Jody, will join the hockey club tomorrow in Ottawa as they take on the Senators. Our best to Craig Hartsburg, his wife Peggy, and the rest of the Hartsburg clan. And how difficult is it for Brad Larson to step up and handle the defense tonight?
Well, you know, that's an interesting point. He was a head coach in the American League Springfield, so I'm sure he's up for the challenge. And he's been around the guys long enough here now through camp and coaching some of these guys last year that he is he'll move in there nicely right now for tonight, temporarily.
Bouncing puck along the boards. Puck picked up here by Wisniewski on to Chaput. Chaput dumps it wide of the net. Brody as we approach the 5-minute mark. Long lead pass there for Colburn. Redirected. Race for the puck. Tooten will get there first. Tooten unable to control the puck, but Johansson quickly feeds Foligno down that left wing. Then Foligno across the line. Johansson follows up, fires a shot. Ramo there, and he will hold on. A little pushing and shoving after the whistle. No damage done. Well, let's check out tonight's PNC game summary. Jody, Jackets score the first 3 goals of the hockey game. Flames on the board here in the 3rd, but take a look at the shots on goal.
Shots on goal, yeah, they're dead even. But how about face-offs? That's where your first one-on-one is. It tells a lot. And coaches want to know if you're engaged in the game. Well, 32 there for the Jackets. Big differential between their wins and the Calgary Flames wins. That's when the initial one-on-one takes place. Jackets have been engaged for most of the night.
Right up to the moment, we want to talk about the importance of face-off. Oh boy, awkwardly into the boards there. but fortunately gets right back up, goes Matt Calvert. Mark Letestu's been the best of the Jackets in the faceoff circle. He has won 14, count them, 14 of 17 draws tonight to this very moment.
And that's not surprising. He plays in all situations out there on the faceoff. Crucial situations too. It's nice to have a guy that's that reliable on your bench.
Stajan. Letestu's had a great start to the season. Not to mention the preseason when he certainly looked strong. And you talk about that veteran leadership that he provides. And of course, as we have been mentioning all night long, our next telecast here on Fox Sports Ohio will come your way from the Canadian capital of Ottawa. And the Senators coming up with a big third period for a win on home ice in their home opener last night against Colorado. Tomorrow night, they'll play host to the Blue Jackets, and our coverage begins at 6:30 with Brian Giesenslaw and Bill Davidge from the studio. Jackets getting set to take on the Senators. Speaking of Senators, there's a former Senator in the name of Nick Foligno.
And that'll be a quick trip. The Jackets will pack up right after this game, fly to Ottawa, clear customs. We'll get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow morning they'll just get up and have a meeting, probably, Jeff, and get ready.
Stajan coming together there with Foligno. Broke Foligno's stick. He retrieves a new one off the bench. Not happy there at all with that hit from Stajan. Watch this collision. Right there in mid-ice.
See the smile on Nick's face now. Kind of surprised him there. Give him a little shot, let him know how he's doing, and then go get a new stick and get ready to go at it again. Although they just changed. Now the Anisimov line is out there. Anisimov, Wenberg, and Hartnell defense his own faceoff.
Artie wins the draw away from Monahan. Monahan, Hudler. Jack Johnson is there. Thrown in front. Colbert tried to get a stick on it. Jackets defend. And it's David Savard walking it to the line. Looks up that left wing. Hartnell not able to trap that puck. Pinched along the boards there by Wenberg for Hartnell. Hartnell jams at the front of the net. Good work there. But Ramo is able to get a pad on it. Now Savard floats one in. Again, Hartsburg looking for the redirect in front. Now sets the screen in front of that Calgary net. Flames come away. That's Monahan late in the shift. It goes off Wenberg and deep into Jackets territory.
That was an interesting play by Yuri Hudler at the line. He didn't have his stick. He took the body and just stayed right in the way of David Savard. He couldn't do anything. Got the puck out. Jackets fans saw that, had a response.
Here is Chaput. Oh boy, I thought that went in off the inside of the goalpost. They'll get a look at it when play stops. Chaput labeling one there that got by Ramo, but right off the inside of the goalpost. It went right off the goalpost. It did not hit the back of the net. Awfully close.
Well, I think they're going to have to take a close look at that one. The way that went in and out and the reaction from the crowd.
Up high, Backlund. Pressured. Juris back to Backlund, and it was deflected off Wisniewski and wide. Wisniewski taking exception there to Smead stepping in front of the net. Those two have words as play heads back up ice.
Smead's already had one fight tonight.
Stajan trying to walk to the net. Jackets defend. Prout. High stick there on Wisniewski. Jackets are going to get a power play. Bobrovsky unaware of it until just now. He'll make his way out, but a high sticking penalty upcoming, and the Jackets will get their fourth power play. They're 1 for 3. They get the extra skater on. Matt Calvert steps away from Glencross, protects the puck. Now Johansson. Stajan with a hook there. And high sticking. The call, Jackets on a power play when we come back. Watch this one. Right off the goalpost. A look from the overhead.
3-1 Columbus. 11:48 left in the third period. And there's Matt Stajan. He took a penalty here on James Wisniewski. Just looking for position on the puck. And there it is. Scrape across the face, 2 minutes, and Jackets on the power play.
He took the blade there, didn't he?
Yeah.
11:48 left, third period. Jackets 1 for 3 on the power play. They've had 3 shots. And Foligno will take the draw. Or Johansson tries to walk to the net. There's Giordano, played there, Foligno. Johansson up and out over the stick of Jack Johnson. Sergei Bobrovsky out to play it. Dishes to the corner. Savard, Johansson. Here comes Atkinson. Finds Foligno on the wing. Nick Foligno broken up there by Brody. Giordano from center.
Jackets just not able in this power play unit to get in there, get it set up the way they want to, and run a play. Calgary's doing a lot of hard work, pressuring them all over.
Johansson, Savard offside. Well, time now, as we promised earlier in the game, for Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. And here's our Miller moment.
Well, it's Ryan Johansson getting a nice little pass to feed from Nick Foligno. See that big smile from Johansson.
That was a power play goal, and the Jackets are on the power play now.
But they can't get set up in the zone. And that first unit is off.
Letestu across the goal mouth. That puck a little high there. And Hartnell having a few words there for Letestu. This play headed up ice. Here's Russell from a sharp angle off the blocker. Once more, and now Bobrovsky forced to make a stop with 56 seconds remaining in the stage and penalty for high stick.
You see Letestu out there with Hartnell and Anisimov. There was Wenberg, but they've replaced him. Put Anisimov on the wing, and this is that last save. Sergei just gobbles that up. Seen a few saves from the top of that blue paint. He comes out and challenges, one little push, and as the puck comes, he times it and just stops it. No rebound.
James Wisniewski. Hartnell. Eriksson jumping up in the play. Will dish a backhand deep in the zone. Brody gets there ahead of the oncoming Jackets. Played up high here. Eriksson. Off the wall. Letestu. Anisimov walks to the paint. Scramble in front. Ramo is down. Loose puck. He's underneath him. And he covers up looking behind him there. And Hartnell was right there on the doorstep.
Anisimov was a little surprised there. He got the puck on the goal line, and he had a little bit of room. He took one step, and had a little more room, and then he just kept going. And the next thing, he's right in front of the net. Too bad he lost his footing, or he would have had a better opportunity. But you see here on the forecheck, that causes the defenseman to put it high to Eriksson. Watch Anisimov release low, and he just kept walking in front.
Wisniewski. Anisimov. Less than 30 seconds left. The Jackets power play. Good save at the line there by Wisniewski. Set in deep. Hartnell finishing a check there on Brody. Flames will move it up. Puma left wing to center. Hits Backlund at the line. The shot juggled and held by Bobrovsky with 11 seconds left in the stage and penalty. 9:58 here in the third period.
Sergei made that save, and the Calgary Flames, all three of them, just crashed that net to make sure there was no loose puck, but more importantly, a whistle so they could get off the ice and get changed.
Face off to Bobrovsky's left. Good penalty kill here by the Flames.
Yeah, they've done a good job. Yeah, they've kept the Blue Jackets a little out of sync, Jeff, here in this penalty kill.
Off the wall. Diaz. Hudler. Outstep Stajan. And he's offside. 9:43 left, third period. Jackets got the first goal from Skilly tonight. They had 2 more and lead 3-1. To the 2 netminders, and now it's time for the Ohio Health great save, and actually it's a couple of stops in the first period, back-to-back by Bobrovsky.
Jody, you speak of a couple. This first one, you hear that little clip there. It goes off a stick. Sergei's got to react with that right pad and then try to find the puck on the left side, where Colburn is there trying to put it over his pad, but quickness, agility, just will to keep that puck out of the net by Sergei Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky has now turned aside 23 of 24 shots. The Flames, for the first time tonight, have the shot advantage over Columbus.
And they're not going to go away. Columbus has got to pay attention to detail, play their game. Get the puck down there and attack Romo again. Weinberg.
Right side. Skilling. Ari Ramo winning in a shootout at Nashville earlier on this week. Far side. Colburn racing into the zone. And play has been whistled down.
After every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players and coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas costs. Enroll at IGSenergy.com.
Cam Atkinson, who has picked up an assist tonight on the Johansson power play goal, extending his point-scoring streak along with Johansson and Foligno, the three of them now riding 4-game point streaks and have combined for 16 points.
Yeah, they've worked well together.
Johansson for Atkinson, and the one-timer just slipped off the heel of the stick. Johansson, Atkinson, back for Johansson. Instant chemistry with these three. Foligno trying to jam it home on the far side, and play has been called.
And that was some good up-ice play by the Blue Jackets. Good entry here in the zone, good speed. A little drop pass, but no shot. They got to get back to that shooting the puck directly at the net. Ryan Johansson tries that no-look pass, which surprised everyone. Didn't get a shot away.
Well, in our open of tonight's telecast, we talked about this line and the chemistry that has been developed in quick order. Less than 8.5 left. Long lead pass. It's onside. Juris walks in and scores his NHL debut. His family's here, and he has his first National Hockey League goal and has cut the deficit to 1. Wow.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Juris is from Burlington, Ontario, and there's his family, and there's some high fives for him. First National Hockey League game. He got called up yesterday, arrived in Columbus. Then he hears the news that he's going to be playing. Then he hears he's going to be playing on a line with Hoodler and Monahan. And that was a set play off a face-off where he just sprung. These guys drove all the way from Burlington, Ontario, 5-hour drive. And they kind of have looks like they cannot believe what is going on right now. Neither can the Jackets. They got to get back on their game. Get back to skating, shooting, crashing the net.
Flames have scored the last 2 goals here, both in the third period. Hoodler deals it, gets it back. Hoodler now in the slot, fires a shot. Blocked there by Letestu, drilled by Weidman, and it ricochets all the way back to the Calgary side.
Scott Hartnell blocked that shot. He's going to go right to the bench. It's a big play in his own end to lay out and sacrifice the body.
That one hurt. A long pass by Giordano, sending Juris in all alone. Brody picks up the second assist. This is Glenncross. Right now, the Flames carrying the play for the Jackets.
They're a hard-working team. We said earlier they took 2 points from the Chicago Blackhawks the other night, or got 2 points.
Brody on to Glenncross. Less than 7 minutes left, third period. A 1-goal hockey game. Here come the Flames again. No, Foligno's able to knock it away, and Johansson will set it back here for Fedor Tutin. Long lead pass Foligno as the Flames change up on the fly. Foligno waits for reinforcements. Along the near board, sends it back. There's a shot by Prout off a stick and wide. Picked up there by Diaz. Diaz, the outlet pass on the right side for Mason Raymond, who opened the scoring for Calgary here in the third. His goal came at 2:21. The Juris goal at 11:43, assisted again by Giordano and Brody.
Yeah, that was a long stretch pass, that Juris goal. And like you said, he showed his speed and put that puck at the top of the net.
Calvert tripped up. The Jackets are going to get an all-important power play here. And an opportunity to restore a 2-goal lead as Calvert was hauled down. This will be the 5th power play for the Jackets. They are 1 for 4.
Calgary 21, minor penalty. Tripping.
Mason
Good
Raymond.
example of what happens when the Blue Jackets get on their horse and forecheck. And Matty Calvert's in there. He actually gets the puck and gets tripped up. You see him just get his head up there to make a play, but good job by the Jackets to get out there. Matty Calvert, get on the forecheck, create something, which is a power play.
Savard, Jack Johnson. Hartnell, who took that shot off the foot, back out there on the power play with Letestu and Anisimov. Less than 6 minutes left. At the line, Anisimov for Hartnell. The puck rolled off his stick. Battles in the corner, gets some help from Anisimov. Thrown back here to Jack Johnson. Johnson on the staging, who will send it the length of the ice, and Bobrovsky will quickly feed as both teams change up the specialty team units. Jackets power play, Flames on the kill. 5:34 left.
That's 2 times Boma has went right off after Jack Johnson. It's hard to tell if the puck is bouncing from up here, but he just went right in and took away his time and space and created a turnover.
Johansson, Savard, Jack Johnson, quick shot off the glove, the blocker specifically of Ramo. Here in front, Atkinson denied.
That opportunity came about with Nick Foligno causing another turnover. Good speed, quickness, turn over the puck right in front of Kari Ramo.
Here comes Foligno looking for Atkinson. Weidman, who broke up the last attempt, breaks up this one, and the Flames now shorthanded. There's a shot by Juris, and the stop made by the Jackets netminder, Bobrovsky. 30 seconds left on the power play. Crowd trying to encourage the Jackets here. Johansson tripped up. Brody, left wing. Buma. Johansson's out of gas. He's headed back to the bench. On comes Wenberg. Skilly didn't see him. Wenberg was darting down that left side, and here Kari Ramo will hold on.
Jackets with the power play. They've had a couple good opportunities, and this is one. Jack Johnson leading the charge. Nice pass. Cam Atkinson does not need much time or space to get a shot away. You can see that there. Nice example. Beautiful save by Kari Ramo.
From the drop. Up high. Drilled by Wisniewski. Off the backboard. Ramo is down. The Jackets can't get to it. Out steps Mason Raymond. Jackets have got to be aware of him lurking up high. Hartnell. Down low. Walks out of the corner into the slot. Anisimov. Wenberg waits at that goal line. Backhanded. Here Hartnell. Anisimov. Wenberg looks for it. Wenberg trying to fight off Diaz. Is played there by Monahan and tossed behind the Calgary net. Less than 4 minutes left.
Well, Wenberg almost slipped past Diaz there. Lifted his stick. Had the puck loose. Just couldn't bring it in.
Top of the circle. Shot deflected. Out of play. 3:39 left. A 1-goal hockey game from Nationwide Arena. The Blue Jackets lead by a goal. There's a look at Matt Calvert, who has the third of the 3 Jacket goals, and it is our Big Lots big play.
Oh, this is an interesting sequence. You can see Mark Letestu wants the puck, gets it off the post. Matty Calvert's there to poke it in. Big goal. Those guys are all happy. All 5 guys touched the puck on that goal. Good job by the Jackets.
Right now, that is the difference of the hockey game. The Matt Calvert goal. Our Big Lots big play. Letestu at the line. Flames converge. Brody steps back into his own zone. Monahan dances away at center. Hit by Calvert as it's dumped in. The 5th line. Chanting CBJ. 3:15 left. That's Hurdler off the skate of Letestu, and the puck deep in Flames territory as Brody comes back to retrieve. He and Giordano on the points. Monahan scoots down the left wing. Hurdler the right. Camped at the offensive blue line is Colburn, and Hurdler way offside. 2:57 left. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
You saw Juris' goal was a long pass up the ice. You just saw another attempt there. It was offside. Calgary's going to try these plays, obviously. The Blue Jackets have got to be aware of the guys behind them and those stretch plays.
Played Backlund on to Weidman. Jackets pressure. Johansson trying to chop it back in. He gets it a second time, and this time banks it off the boards and sends it deep. Back at center. Savard hammers it into Calgary territory.
You just mentioned Johansson getting it deep, then Savard getting it deep. Watch the Jackets with 2:30 left in the game in the third period here to manage the puck by just getting it over the red line and deep. But first, out of their own end.
Nick Foligno to the line, but not out. Kept in by Russell. Foligno tries again as he bumps Russell. Played by the Flames along the near boards. Jackets battle. Russell. Long shot. Look at Bobrovsky despite the screen in front. Byron was set in front of the Jackets net, but Bobrovsky able to see that puck through the screen and wisely holds on with 2:07 left.
Byron is a guy that they love. This guy just works and works and works. He's only 5'7" from Ottawa. And you see him in front. We saw Cam Atkinson earlier in the game screening. Guys, everyone knows you got to get in front of the goalie. Nice save by Sergei to fight through it. Jackets win that faceoff.
Tootin can't clear. Giordano off the wall. Flames play it in the corner. Centering feed off the goal post. Right off the post. Bobrovsky doesn't have his goal stick. Looking to retrieve it. Giordano sends it high. Now retrieved in the blue paint. Brody. Hard pass. Giordano back for Brody. Out of the net comes Ramo. 6 skaters on for the Flames. Brody looks to the right wing over the stick of Glencross. Tootin will attempt to clear and does, sending it to center. Less than 90 seconds left.
Nice touch by Fedor Tootin to get it off the glass, out of the zone far enough, but not an icing.
Wisniewski off the wall. Stajan is there. Jackets can't clear. Wisniewski on here for Anisimov. Juris out there in the final minute plus. This shot high off the glass. The crowd on their feet. Players on both benches standing. Glencross, less than a minute to go. Now Giordano for Brody. Johansson up high. Can't get a stick on it. Giordano off the blocker of Bobrovsky. There is Colburn. Behind the net, Tootin. Anisimov there to help. Loose puck, Calvert. Dives in front of it, off the glass, Giordano. Flames continue with the pressure. The Jackets late in the shift are able to send it to center. Johansson into Calgary territory.
You said it, late in the shift. Those guys work fast. A lot of hard work in the defensive zone by the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Hudler for Russell, sprinting into the zone. On here to Hudler. Hudler walks in and cannot convert. Monahan, Weidman, final 10 seconds. Long shot, wide of the net. Monahan sends it back to the point. This one just skirts wide of the net, and that will do it. The Jackets hang on, and they can thank their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, who stood tall here in the third period as the Flames came rushing.
So that was a crazy finish to this game. Calgary turned up the temperature in here. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, Fedor Tootin, Anisimov, Wisniewski, that was off the goalpost. Sergei didn't have a stick there, I didn't think. see him kind of get tangled up in front, drops his stick, holds his position. It luckily goes off the post. And this is right at the end. Hudler gets in the middle here and decides to make a little pass. Thankfully, because he was in a scoring area.
Flames outshoot the Jackets 14-9 in the third. They outscore them 2-0, but the Jackets hang on for the win.